So when I was young, one of the things that I wanted to always do was travel. And one of the things that I thought may not be able to happen when I first started trading was I wouldn't be able to integrate the trading and the traveling. However, a lot has changed in the 20 years that I've been trading. So let's have a look in this video at traveling and trading. If you're interested in learning to trade on Betfair, then visit the BetAngel Academy, where you have detailed, structured Betfair trading courses. Or why not visit our website where you can download a free trial of BetAngel Professional, but also visit the forum where you can get detailed images, examples, and downloadable files. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon if you want notification of new videos as they're released. So when I was young, I always fancied traveling around a bit. I didn't know how I was going to achieve it. All I remember is sitting on the couch watching these documentaries where people were going to mysterious places, and I thought I would love to do that. I would really want to go and do that. And that was something that I pursued over a number of years. So yeah, I've walked across deserts, climbed mountains, stood on distant shores, and enjoyed absolutely every moment of it. And there's something amazing about watching a documentary when you're 15 and then going to that location many years later and standing there thinking, wow, I actually managed to do that. And I think probably some of the most thrilling moments of my life have been doing treks or something somewhere where I finally managed to achieve that. So yeah, I've always enjoyed traveling, and it's been an integral part of my life. I've always loved that little sense of adventure that goes with it. But when I was in a normal career, one of the things that I did was start working for international companies, because I thought that would give me the opportunity to be able to do that, which it more or less did. And as soon as I managed to get a job with an international company, of which several followed from that point on, I would harass them and ask if I could go to another location or something. I'd find some excuse, some way of being able to do that. But, you obviously had to go there to work. But so I figured out that what you would do is you'd top and tail your trip, perhaps with a couple of days off, or you would arrange it so that you'd arrive on a Friday, or you would leave on a Monday, or something like that. You would somehow work it into the mix. So yeah, I quite enjoyed that. That was one of the perks of having that type of job, was being able to do that. And yes, you get all of those benefits, but generally you never get paid what you're worth. So when I quit that and started Betfair trading, I figured out that I was just going to throw all of that away. So I allocated a little bit of budget to continue to have the odd holiday. But I sort of felt that maybe being able to do that on a regular basis had probably disappeared. However, I was still keen to try and make that work. And especially with a young family, it would, I always thought it would be nice to take them away when they weren't in school or all those sort of things. But nonetheless, sometimes that clashed with important events. So I had to try and figure out how to make all of that work. So if we look back at the beginning of my trading career, I probably didn't travel much at all. But as things began to progress and I began to get more confident, I had to find ways of making that work. So often we'd rent a cottage somewhere for a few weeks and just move everything wholesale to be able to have a really decent holiday. But also I wanted to be able to trade all of those important meetings that were taking place around there. And that would in part fund an even better holiday. But it was very difficult to start with because I had to cart around enormous amounts of equipment with me at that particular point. Going back a few years, I always would have a backup plan just in case things didn't work out. And so I actually used to carry around a satellite dish with me. And I would sit down at home the week before we went away, test all the equipment, make sure it was aligned and so on and so forth, and then pack that back up and take it with me. So incredibly, if I rented a house that had no sky, I would take the dish with me and all the equipment that went with it. And then I would just wire that all up, configure it at the location in which I was at, and then I would feel completely happy that I had a really good trading signal. Now, of course, you don't need to do that now because live video is more than adequate. There's no need to take a dish with you any longer, but that's the length at which I used to go to. So taking the dish with me was a way of solving that particular problem. And the internet, you could always get somebody to run a speed test or something, but you would always tend to get to the location that you're at and then test the internet. It would be the first thing you would do. And if there was a problem, then you'd have to find a way out of it. Maybe you'd use a data card, or maybe you'd find a location nearby that had decent internet. But generally you would solve those problems before you arrived. Now, as time has moved on, technology has got much better. So I don't have to lug around a satellite dish with me. I don't have to worry about the internet connection any longer, because the internet connection wherever you go is generally pretty good, especially if you're using something like a VPS to trade off of. The laptops are wafer thin now and like 1 billion times more powerful than when I first started trading. And you also have things like tablets, like iPads, that you can use as secondary devices or secondary monitors, or you can stream video on them. And it's just like a completely different world from where I originally started. So the opportunity to just up sticks and move to a different location and trade from there for a period of time is much more prevalent than it ever has been. And in fact, you know, when you look at countries like Malta, for example, they're beautifully geared up for you to get a little bit of sun, but to be able to trade if you so wish. So it's summer, the weather is bad in the UK, and there's only one thing for it. That is to leave the UK and go and trade from somewhere else. So I have decided to relocate myself somewhere nice and hot. I was hoping to get a picture the other way around, but unfortunately the sun's in slightly the wrong position at the moment. But I've decided to locate myself in Malta. Why Malta, do you ask? Well, pretty much guaranteed sun, loads of water sports, and also it's a hub for a lot of e-gaming businesses across the world. Malta has reshaped itself not only as a tourist destination, but somewhere where a lot of companies come to locate themselves that are involved with internet gaming of one sort or another. So there are about 400 companies here, loads of expats. Technologically, it's quite advanced. You get very big internet pipes here. And best of all, Malta is one of few European countries where you can actually log on and use Betfair legitimately. So yeah, there are many reasons to be here. Sun, sea, not so much sand, loads of water sports. Rather than getting up in the morning and going out on my mountain bike, I'm getting up in the morning and going out on a jet ski. And the internet connections are great here, the weather's great, lots of facilities, loads of fun things to see and do. So yeah, that's where I've decided to base myself this week. And why not? If you can, that's one of the advantages of trading, is that you can locate yourself from absolutely anywhere in the world if you so wish. So why not do it? And as time moves on now, we find that technology is now getting even better. So I'm finding it easier and easier to have a little bag. I've got a little bag down here. I should have maybe brought it up to show you, that I can fit everything in. And it's no bigger than, it's slightly larger than a decent sized laptop. But I can put my laptop in there, the iPad, all of the other devices that I need to be able to trade from pretty much anywhere on the planet. One of the things that I did remember to bring with me on this video is this little device here. This is a cellular data connection. It can work anywhere in the world. It has its own SIM slots that you can put local SIMs in, but it also can operate without it. It connects to a global network of data, which will allow you to basically log on from pretty much anywhere, and I have done that from a number of different locations. I think probably the funniest location that I've ever traded from was somewhere over the Arctic, when just for a laugh I was on a Boeing Dreamliner, and I just thought, I wonder what the Wi-Fi is like. Is it possible to be able to trade from it? And I did. I fired up my laptop and actually fired up a football match and did a little bit of basic trading on that particular match from 38,000 feet or whatever it was, somewhere over the Atlantic or somewhere near the Arctic Circle on a Boeing Dreamliner. So yeah, it's amazing what places you can trade from. Now, I wouldn't probably recommend that, but one of the benefits of the way that the technology has moved is it's actually very easy to go to a hotel now, bring all of those things out of my bag, stick it onto the hotel room and start actively trading. It makes your life very, very simple and easy. But yeah, let's have a quick look at a setup that I did when I was actively trading from a hotel a couple of years back. So here's the setup that I'm using at the moment. You can see it's really simple. I've got a MacBook and I've got an iPad, and the iPad I can use as a second monitor. At the moment I'm streaming live video from Betfair on it. But yeah, I can use it to look at charts, I can stream video on it, or sometimes what I'll do is I'll remote back to my PC in the office to look at the pictures on there. I know that sounds daft, but sometimes it's helpful to be able to do that. And but at the moment you can see I've got the iPad set up as having live video on it, and I'm trading off of the MacBook. Now you may question why I've got a MacBook, but this gives me the best of both worlds because I can dual boot it. I can use it as a Windows machine or a Mac. So I can use BetAngel natively, or if I've got it set up as a Mac, I can use the VPS to trade from, and that's helpful because sometimes you're not sure of the connection that you're going to get at the location that you're choosing to trade from. So you want the lowest bandwidth, the lightest connection that you could possibly have. So sometimes using a VPS works pretty well, but here I can use it as either a VPS on the Mac, or I can boot it into Windows and use it as a native Windows machine. But I've got both choices. That's what I'm trying to do here, is give myself options. But yeah, that's all I need. When you compare what I used to have to cart around with me to trade, this is amazing. All it takes is just this amount of equipment. I can set up in minutes and start trading and pack it away in minutes and move off to my next location. So yeah, it's an absolute boon to be able to do this. And this is sort of what I'd hoped for when I first started trading, with that I'd be able to pack my trading kit up in a bag, go to somewhere, actively trade, pack it up again, and not have to worry about things. Very lightweight, don't require much equipment, a few headphones and stuff, but that's about all that I require. Now, the only downside I'd say is the chair I've got here is quite uncomfortable. So I'm used to a really nice, comfortable chair in the office, and I don't have that here. So that's a bit of a pain. But other than that, that's my trading setup. When I'm traveling, I can work quite comfortably and trade perfectly adequately with the setup that you see here. So technology over the 20 years or so that I've been trading has changed quite dramatically. When we look back at where I started, it was a right pain to be able to get out, and I had to strategically, it was a military operation just to be able to trade away from my desk. But the fact is that now technology has moved on significantly. It's much easier. So you don't have to lug around satellite dishes or anything. You can just pack your laptop in your bag and off you go. Although that said, you know, obviously I'm keen not to sort of sell this as a lifestyle thing. Basically, you know, you're still going to have to learn to trade, and most of that time will be done behind your desk, and only when you get confident and you know exactly what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, can you actually then start straying away and getting the benefits of that. So don't take it the wrong way. There's still a lot of work to be done before you can sort of reach that stage. However, you know, travel has always been something that I've enjoyed, and the fact that the technology allows me to do that now is absolutely fantastic. But also, you know, trading itself allows you to do that. So because I tend, or you know, the bulk of my work is done in the racing markets, I can switch on and off from those very easily, which allows me to free up time, which I never thought would be the case when I first started doing this. But also, you know, if you want to take a break from trading, it's quite easy to do, subject to the sport and the time of year. In the middle of winter, I'm not going to be too fussed about what's going on the racing front, because half of it will be abandoned anyway. But in the middle of the summer, obviously I'm going to be going at it all, you know, guns blazing. So you have to take that into account as well. However, the technology has moved on to such a stage now that if I wanted to up sticks and go somewhere else for 3 or 4 weeks and just spend the afternoon trading and have an extended holiday or time out with the family, it's perfectly possible to do. So I don't think you should underestimate that as part of your sort of trading mix. It is possible to keep on top of things from pretty much anywhere in the world now, thanks to the way that technology has developed. The internet is better, and everything is just so much better from where I started. So when I first started doing this, it was difficult to understand if I would be able to pull it off, and it required a lot of planning, but nowadays it's fairly easy to do. I think we've reached the stage now where you can actually work remotely, although maybe not on a plane 38,000 feet above the Atlantic. So yeah, hopefully you'll take something from that. I think the flexibility to trade now brings many benefits to it, but obviously you've still got to do all of the hard work up front to settle down into a market and develop a strategy that works for you. But yeah, there are plenty of options available for you if you want to trade remotely now.